what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur Exchange on the Mesh Podcast Network, a monthly conversation about startups and small business with ideas, tools, and advice to operate your business more effectively. On today's show, I'm going to share my summer reading and tell you that a lack of a mission statement may have changed the history of the world. We'll be joined by Tricia Cooper, who's our guest today. She's a personal trainer and an entrepreneur. And we'll talk about a product she's developed, and we'll also talk about her experience trying out for Shark Tank. And if you want to invest, we'll only require a small commission to hook you up. Finally, we'll wind up with our Small Business of the Month feature, where we'll highlight some interesting businesses that you should be checking out. My name is Jeff Neuville. I'm your co-host. I'm director of the Small Business Center at Catawba Valley Community College in Hickory, North Carolina. And I'd like to welcome my co-host, Gary Muller, who's the Dean of Business, Industry, and Technology at Catawba Valley Community College in Hickory. Gary, how is it going?
It's going great, Jeff. Your intro has really got me excited about changing the world.
Changing the world.
We talk about those things in school, changing people's lives, but changing the world is a pretty big deal.
Well, it is a pretty big deal, you know. In the business, you know what we call that? We call that a teaser.
Well, it worked.
I'm glad.
And I'm your co-host.
I'm glad that you're at least interested. You know, hopefully we haven't lost our listeners quite yet. But we're sitting in beautiful Hickory, North Carolina. It's we're at Memorial Day weekend. It's
a beautiful day today.
Beautiful day.
It's been a cold and rainy week, but it's been a beautiful day today.
So anyway, well, welcome to everybody out there. So so I wanted to talk for a moment. We always try to share an article, but I'm reading a new book. As you, Gary, probably know, I'm sort of one of these little political junkie type.
Yes, people. I know. And I know we shouldn't talk politics.
But the book that I'm reading is called Shattered: Inside Hillary Clinton's Doomed Campaign by Jonathan Allen and Amy Parnes, who are two political writers who I believe at least Jonathan Allen was sort of embedded with the Clinton campaign from early on, and it's sort of a lot of inside reporting. And it is very telling. In all honesty, I'm only about halfway through the book at this point in time. But it is very telling in that one of the real challenges that the campaign faces is that ultimately, Hillary Clinton is never really able to express a vision or a reason for why she wants to be president. And ultimately, she really doesn't connect very well with the electorate, while Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump are running around getting humongous audiences and very passionate responses, and she's scratching her head trying to figure out why she can't. So I am prepared to submit that the reason that she did not win the election, creating a significant change in history of the world, is the fact that she never really had a mission statement, and she couldn't really reach out to her customers or the electorate. And I guess I wanted to get your thoughts on how that might translate to business, and that I've never really been a big guy of saying, oh, you got to have a mission statement, and I'm starting to question that.
There's so many things to say.
Well, jump right in.
So I wasn't going to talk about politics, and I won't, per se. But I do agree that I think that she thought she was supposed to be president and had all the qualifications and things that need to be done, and that everybody else would think that too.
Well, and her aides sort of quiet. I say joked around. Joke is probably not the right word. I hope I don't upset Hillary Clinton and she doesn't call us out. I don't know if she's a listener. You know, we have a lot of listeners.
It's very possible. We have people from the north.
But, some of them said that, in frustration, they would say, well, our reason for running is it's her turn. And that doesn't particularly resonate with the with her customers. So from a business perspective, when we talk to businesses, what do we think the importance of a mission statement is?
Well, I get your comment about mission statement. I think the process of going through developing a mission statement or talking to people about what we're going to do, and it does tie directly into what you were just talking about, you got to give people a reason to buy your product or your service and get excited about it. Not just because you got to have whatever X, Y, Z, but you got to create some passion. And Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump did that. Probably perfect examples on either side. But they were generating excitement. Whether you agreed with it or not, they figured it out, or their people figured it out.
I guess perhaps one thing is authenticity in that, and I guess Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump represented very different spectrums, but I think that people felt that they came off as very authentic in terms of,
and they were passionate
beliefs.
Whether you liked them or not, you knew that they believed in what they were saying, and they got you excited one way or another. And Hillary was just kind of walking through saying, I am very qualified, and she had a lot of good traits and good quality and great experience, but she didn't generate that wow factor, which you got to have with a business, product, or service too.
So should we be telling businesses that they should start with the mission statement?
Well, I think they need to be excited and passionate about what they're doing, because if they're not, and I know our guest is, then how are you going to get customers to be excited if you're not? Other than just say, a monotone is not going to work in any kind of environment. At least I don't believe it.
Sometimes I've had clients come into our small business center, and I'll ask them, what they're trying to accomplish, and they'll say, I want to be a millionaire. Well, that's all well and good, but that's probably not the way you can connect. You really have to find a reason to connect to your customer,
yeah.
and we all hope that the outcome of you starting a business and doing wonderful things results in you being a millionaire. But that's the
result. That's
can't
not
be the primary objective.
Exactly.
So anyway, that's.
I'm excited now. We're changing the world.
Okay, well, the world has changed,
and it certainly has changed.
So, that's a different podcast could discuss
right.
whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. But we'll try to stick to our
very good. I like that one,
business. So, all right. Well, you Shattered is the book that I'm reading. So and it's, if you're into the intricacies of political campaigns, it's a very interesting read. So. We'll keep you posted. Yeah, I'm only halfway through. I don't know how it turns out.
Okay, so in future podcasts, we'll see how see how the election turns out.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give you an update next podcast.
Good deal.
So. All right. Well, we have a guest today. I want to welcome our guest, Tricia Cooper. Tricia, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. We met Tricia when she was participating in our local business plan competition, the Edison competition last year, and Tricia is a personal trainer and has been in the fitness industry for several years. I'll let she doesn't look like she's been in it that long, but she's been in it for a while. She's a personal trainer. She's taught in many arenas of fitness, including special populations, including active older adults, infants, obesity, at-risk teens, pre- and postnatal. She's done classes in several adult fitness areas: yoga, step, Zumba, spinning, Pilates, aerobics, kickboxing, pump, TRX. We need to be on our best behavior. She can take care of herself.
I'm moving a little bit over here.
Okay. She's an athletic trainer who has trained people and also participated in marathons, triathlons, Spartan trifectas, bodybuilding, race walking. I know what some of these things are. I don't know what all of them are.
I'm intimidated.
Well, you're okay. I've got your back. She also instructs a program called the Journey Series, which is a unique 6-week program of reflection and transforming people from the inside and outside. And she's developed a product that is called the Journey Board that she is starting to use in her program. So, Tricia, welcome to the Entrepreneur Exchange. We're glad that you're here.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about your experience as a personal trainer and yoga instructor and how you came up with the Journey. Tell folks what the Journey Board is and how you came up with it.
Okay. So I have been in the fitness industry for 40 years. I started when I was 17. And I love to see people really transformed physically through the first part of my journey with fitness. But people weren't sticking to their goals. They weren't able. As a personal trainer, I was like, okay, they get it, and then they don't, and then they backslide, and then they do even worse than when they first came to me. And so I developed a program called the Journey Series Stripping the Core. And it's a 27 posture program that transforms people and gets them physically uncomfortable so that emotionally and mentally we can kind of dig deep into what is going on in their psyche so that they can get that emotional and mental and physical balance to bring I like to call it like the spiritual awareness, the spiritual awakening in their mind that says, oh, that's why I do what I do. And if I want to hit this goal, I don't want to do that anymore. And so it really does involve getting uncomfortable. But here's the thing, the program was really hard. And a lot of people weren't able to get that core balance because everything's centered in that program with that centered core strengthening and lengthening. And so I wanted to understand my postures more. So I became a yoga certified instructor. And as I was going through my yoga journey, I was finding people loving the program but not being able to balance or flexibility. And so a lot of people were either dropping out of it or were not getting the full the full extent of what the program could do for them.
And when you say balance, I think what you're saying is physically they could not achieve certain poses or things that you were trying to assist them in getting to.
Yes, and I love that you say that because it was a physical balance. But here's the thing. Because they weren't able to get physically balanced, they couldn't get mentally uncomfortable. And that was my desire. I love to get people uncomfortable so it brings awareness. And that awareness thus brings transformation. Because I am totally in the transformation.
Want to make a change.
Yes, but a lot of people don't want to do that. They stay in that.
We don't like to get uncomfortable here.
And especially, for men, because you guys do not, I don't mean it like that, but it is hard flexibility for men. You guys are tight and it's not like you're like, oh, I'm going to roll up my mat and go to yoga today. And so we have to be able to entice you to come and make you know that you are getting absolute benefit from it. So I invented a board. It's called the Journey Board. And the reason why it's the Journey Board is because so many different journeys can be taken on this board. You can do core balancing, core flexibility. It's for active older adults. It's for, my sons use it, they're 26 and 24. My daughters use it, they're from 11 to 31 years old. And my husband uses it, and he's a golfer. He's a weekend warrior.
We need from golf standpoint.
And me, at 57 years old, I am an active older adult, and I use it. But it for my balance and for my flexibility. I mean, I may think that I'm a 20 or 30-year-old in my head, but my body does say, "Hello, you are 57." And
I would have lost a lot of money knowing what her age is. So you are a walking advertisement for your business.
That's right. We have wagers on that all the time in the Entrepreneur Exchange. Go ahead.
I'm glad you maybe lost on that.
Gary lost on that one. I went under.
So the Journey Board really does enable people to be successful in transforming what they want physically in their body, and then helps them to find that mental and that physical balance. It has straps on it. You can move it. You use both sides of the board to it, and it's a really neat board. Like, people who get on it and people who have seen it are just like, that is really cool. Like,
and you've used it in some of your classes.
Yes.
And at various yoga studios, so people have had a chance to try it, get on it, and see the benefit of it.
Yes, and I've done workshops on it, and the feedback with the workshops have been. Sometimes the feedback has been really, really positive, and I'm like, I need like some negative feedback. And probably the only negative feedback that I got was from my 31-year-old daughter. And it wasn't negative about the board or anything. It was about, just me being so bouncy.
Well, I've got a 21-year-old daughter, so yeah, I understand some of those negative
Yes, I
comments.
understand.
And my daughter, my 31-year-old, and I went through yoga training certification together as well. We have two totally different teaching styles.
Well, and you've talked. You mentioned that you've done some workshops and gotten feedback. So in terms of how you've developed the journey board in your product, what are other ways that it's sort of gotten to the point where it is today? I know you've worked with our local university, Lenore-Ryan University. Talk a little bit about the sort of the process that you've used to sort of get to this point with your board at this point in time.
I'll tell you, I've had amazing mentors and advisors through the Edison Project and through Lenore-Ryan Incubation Entrepreneur Program. They got me in touch with just people that would help, on patents and on LLCs, and just advisors, because we had to pitch in front of the advisory board, and they gave great feedback. Did I get my feelings hurt? I kept thinking, I'm not married to this board. I'm not married to this board. This is why I'm in this program. And then they would give this feedback, and I'm like, who do they think they are?
Yes, you are married to it. Just like we were talking about, you have to be passionate about your product.
And I was.
It's another one of your children.
That's it,
but you know
definitely.
what?
Good.
It really did teach me that it wasn't, nor was I, the be-all, end-all, and that I had to be open and receptive to change things that people were seeing in it, or be able to change my approach. And that was humbling. But you know what? That got me ready for Shark Tank.
But it's just like what you talk about with trying to make people uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Before you can transform, you must get uncomfortable.
Yes.
So you have to walk the walk and talk.
No, you are absolutely right. And I said it to my friend. I said, I get upset about this stuff, but I am always telling people to put their big boy pants on or big girl panties on. And I was finding myself at this wall. And, it really was a growing process that without Edison and without LR's entrepreneur program, I would have fell apart at Shark Tank. I would have fallen apart. But because of the advisors and the mentors and the feedback and how they really spoke life into my board and into me and into my securities and into my pride, it was an amazing journey. But I had to, look in the mirror and really be open, receptive. I love what you say about changing the world, because that's how I teach my class. I say, if you can't transform here when you look in the mirror, you aren't going to be able to walk into the room and transform the room. And then that room isn't going to, take and transform the community. And then how do you change the world if you didn't change the room, the community, and the world? It starts right at the person you look at in the mirror.
It's corny, but it's true.
And I know it is.
Well, you mentioned that it helped you in preparing for Shark Tank, and Shark Tank, I guess on a regular basis, conducts, casting calls throughout the country. And back in April, they had one in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is not very far from us, and promoted it, and I saw it and promoted it to some of our small business center clients. You saw it, and you actually went down and participated in the casting event. But as you to prepare for the casting event, what did you do to get ready for it?
I went to what they did at, I think it's Piedmont. Central Piedmont. They offered, and thank goodness they did, they offered 3 or 4 different workshops to come, what the Sharks wanted. And then the numbers, how to play with the numbers. And then the last, but the very most important was, it's a casting call. And and what they were looking for in it, and to really be you and be passionate about your product. And if you don't know your product, you don't deserve to be there. And so I had to do a lot of soul searching the month leading up to this audition. It's an audition. It is a casting call. And I really had to do some soul searching and make sure that I knew my product, I knew my purpose, I knew that I was passionate in it, and I knew how I wanted to present myself, because that first part is really an audition. And I'm not like this audition person. I mean, seriously.
Your personality seems like the perfect person for Shark Tank, because you are passionate and you are outgoing. And that seems like what they're looking for.
And despite what your daughter says, the fact that you're bouncy and bubbly can be a good thing when it comes to Shark Tank.
Exactly.
Well,
Sorry, daughter.
Yeah, I can say when you walk in like I did the Edison project. It's kind of the Hickory version of Shark Tank. And I was so nervous in that. And, you have a whole room of people and they're watching you. And, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to perform for these people and do this. And I just felt like my passion wasn't there. Like I didn't come out because I was so rehearsed. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they say in the pitching workshop at Piedmont is practice, pitch, practice, pitch, practice. And so I opened up my home, I put it out on Facebook, and I said, anybody want to watch me pitch for Shark Tank? And I had friends, I had fellow board members from a board that I sit on. I had people just come out, advisors from LR, and they all came and they were like, we're supporting you. I had friends that I train, friends that take my Journey Series classes, and it was amazing. And every single time they came, there was a little tweak that I could make that made me more personal and that brought my passion out. And, they'd say, that was too contrived. And so when I went into that pitch, seriously, I mean, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'm going to toot my own horn. They loved me. They loved my board. I mean, my producer, but they make you feel, I'm going to go back, they make you feel like they want you there. They are so welcoming.
They made you comfortable.
Oh, like when you are in this room.
Which is interesting. I would have thought maybe the other way.
So first off, I want to say kudos to our small business center down at Central Piedmont Community College.
Yes.
And I know the director there, Renee Hode, who does an outstanding job. So it sounds like the workshops were very, very helpful. So sort of walk us through sort of the day of going through a casting pitch with Shark Tank. 'Cause I think it was on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm, it was.
And I think it was advertised as starts at 9 o'clock, but I'm betting that you got there before 9 o'clock.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about if someone's thinking about attending a Shark Tank casting call, what is the day like?
Okay, so the day is you get up at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I went down.
If you can sleep.
Yeah, I went down the night before and stayed down there, and I had great support from my husband, and he dropped. Nope, did I take a cab? I took a cab and got dropped off at 5.
5 in the morning.
There was already a line.
For a 9 o'clock.
There was already a line.
So you don't have an appointment? That's when.
Oh no, sir. No.
To me, it sort of sounds like that American Idol tryout.
That is exactly it. Okay. And there was probably over 400 people that were getting into line, and it was pretty neat to get there. I was number 36.
Oh, that's good.
So that was great.
Yes. Number 36 at 5 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Number 36 at 5 in the morning. And I really thought I was going to be one of the first. And I walked up, and there was this line, and I'm like, what in the world, these people? And so I got to be in the first batch.
That's good.
So that was amazing. Yeah. And the reason why I got up that early is because I wanted to catch the producers when they were fresh.
Absolutely.
And these are the producers. It's not like Mark Cuban or any of the sharks are there. These are this is sort of a process that I assume if you do well in, you might end up being on the actual show, which I assume they tape in California, but I don't know for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
And so then you get your numbers, and here was the really neat part. there were people that would just come up to you that have been on Shark Tank, that have been in front of Mark and Laurie and, and all the other ones, Mr. Wonderful, and they would say, pitch to me. And they would just say, okay, you need to do this or you need to do that. And at first I was watching one woman come through, and she is in 4,000 grocery stores. She did not have to be there, but she was like, I made it. I want to help you make this. Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, no, I'm not going to pitch to her. And then I was like, if I can't pitch to this girl, how am I going to pitch in there? And I was like, come on, let me pitch to you. And she was amazing with her feedback. It was really funny because when she gave me feedback, I was like, okay, do I change some of this stuff? Do I tweak it? Well, how do I do this? And so I took the best information that she gave and took it to heart and, still stuck with my plan.
Well,
but there were people...
Make probably a dramatic change because you've already practiced.
Exactly. Because I was watching other people kind of get nervous. Now, in the line, there are people that they have been... This is maybe their fourth tryout for Shark Tank. They follow them all over the country. And I thought that was amazing.
Was that a little
nice word?
Was that a little intimidating? Or
No. It's something that I wouldn't do.
Yeah, you need some time on your hands, I guess, if you're going to do that.
Yeah, I think that maybe these people feel like I have this product, but you never know because there were a few people there that had tried and didn't make it, and tried and didn't make it, and then their number was called. And so I was like, would I do this again after they, because when they call you in, they raise their hands, who was with us in New York and who was with us and who's going to meet us in Dallas, and I'm like, not me. I'm not going to do this. But if, maybe if I get the board, maybe when I get myself more in the business plan of where I want it to be, I would go back. Because here's the thing. They loved my board. I mean, the guy was just like, what? And you can flip it over? He was like, that is like the coolest thing. And he worked out. That was amazing. He understood the concept of my board.
Well, we talk about that. The judges or the audience, if they can understand it or have an interest in it, they're going to start diving in and asking the questions.
Yes.
They're going to get engaged. That's what.
And he engaged, and he asked a lot of questions, and I was really excited about that because it gave me hope that I really did have something.
So as far as you said you were in the first group making a pitch, and I assume, how much time do you have to make your pitch? I mean, is this like a 5-minute pitch or what's
90 seconds.
90 seconds. So you have a minute and a half to. I mean, that's tough.
And they'll stretch it to 2. And I kept on thinking, there is no way. There is no way. There is a way. There really is. It is about pitching. It's about pitching and getting in front of people.
Well, we sometimes we talk about an elevator pitch where you have 60 seconds, 90 seconds to get people excited about your business. And I guess this is the ultimate elevator pitch.
It was the ultimate elevator pitch because when I downloaded the contract and, I really made it the decision that I was going to do Shark Tank, I had to tweak a lot of things, but then I went back to my Edison pitch. I did go back to that, and then I shortened it and I took the best and kind of like the buzzwords and what was really personal but important. And in 90 seconds they want you to weave your story and your product in 90 seconds, and I was like, are they kidding me? It is doable. It is doable. And it was an amazing experience.
But you talk about the practicing and the feedback, and I would think, I assume that there are probably some people that just come up and say, hey, I see Shark Tank's doing it today. I'm just going to show up and show them my product and make lots of money. But those people probably don't go very far because they probably stumble around and say, isn't it great? And look at this cool product. And I have to think that it is ultimately a TV show. As you said, it's casting, and there's got to be a combination of a viable, interesting product and also a interesting person that would be good for being on television.
And that's it. And, they want good television. They want to know that you are television worthy, and that you have that there's really a purpose for you to be there.
I watch it every Friday night.
And
I'm looking at the people as well as the products.
I totally agree with you. I'm always looking at and going, okay, what did they have, or why did they get picked? Did they have a great business plan? I mean, really, if you are thinking of being on Shark Tank, you got to watch Shark Tank, because I didn't watch it.
Oh, really?
I never watched it. I didn't watch it until after the Edison project, and I was like, okay, what did I do wrong? And so I started to watch it, and then I really started to watch it. My whole family started to watch it with me when we, decided that I would do this. But there were people that just were like, they just like walked in and thought that they just had this great product and
throw it on the table and the sharks will bite.
Then there were some people that you were really intimidated by. You were like, wow, you're a professional.
For the traps, do you bring your props? Obviously, you brought your board, but I mean,
yes.
Like on the TV show, they have these elaborate.
This is what they do.
Right?
You get there, and they tell you in the contract you will have time. They'll give you your number. You have a wristband. They put it on you, and then they tell you that you have time to go to your car or whatever and get your props. And when I got it, I texted my husband, and he brought me my board and my stuff, and went up. Mm-hmm. It is very professional. It moved just like that. I mean, they know what they are doing. So
the thing starts at 9:00. You're number 36. At what point did you get in and actually pitch? What time was it? Or approximately
about 11. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was still early. But I'm going to say maybe about 11:30, because I think I got out of there maybe at noon.
Yeah. I mean, if there are 400 people in line, you're number 36. That's got to be a long day for them.
A long day, and that is exactly why I wanted to the sacrifice to get up early was well worth.
I always think it's better to go early.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully they're a bit fresh.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and it was amazing because there were people that were coming and getting dropped off, or the car, and all of us getting out of the car, and all of a sudden they're looking at their line and they're like, what? And I'm like, seriously? You're here at 9:30. Did you think 2 people would show up? So my advice is be prepared, pitch, and go to every workshop that offers. I mean, you offer workshops at CVCC. Piedmont offers workshops. There are entrepreneur programs on college campuses that I've learned about that are amazing, that are really for that small business, that entrepreneur.
Well, the experience is going to help you out for your business, not just the Shark Tank.
Absolutely.
All those pitching or presentations, they're going to help you in everything you do.
When I started this journey, I didn't think I was going to be on Shark Tank. I didn't. People were always like, "Oh, are you going to be on Shark Tank?" And I'm like, "No." But then everybody, Lenore and CVCC, and then Piedmont that month before, they all got me prepared for it and confident for it. That I walked out of there thinking this to myself: I don't really care if I get on Shark Tank. Here's what I cared about. This was an amazing experience. That was it. The people were generous. They wanted you to succeed. They made you feel really welcome. It was an amazing. The whole Shark Tank, the producers, they were bouncy.
Well, so here's what our listeners want to know: are you going to be on Shark Tank?
I haven't gotten the call. I'm still waiting. You
haven't got a call either way at this point in time. You don't,
exactly.
Right. You don't know if you're going to be on.
Right.
So in addition to me having to give an update on how my book turns out, we're going to have to provide updates on whether
I'm coming back next month.
When Tricia's going to be
what's going to happen.
If Tricia's going to make it to Shark Tank, and if so, when.
Right?
This is exciting.
It is exciting.
All right. Well,
she has much more passion than Hillary Clinton does with her product.
Hillary,
You're not going to go
come
there.
on, Hillary. We do love you. Don't she's got people, Gary.
She does have people. I didn't say she's not
All right,
talented
you get in
or
trouble.
have a lot of good qualities.
All right. Well, Tricia, we very much appreciate you coming on to our podcast today
Thank
and
you.
sharing your experience because I think Shark Tank is sort of one of these iconic shows for many entrepreneurs, and your willingness to share your experience. There are probably people listening that hope to go through one of these casting calls and show up in Shark Tank someday.
Yeah.
So we very much appreciate you sharing.
Thank
Well, listen to all
you.
the other positives she got out of it. The
Yeah.
network,
Yeah.
all the people you have on your team now.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
We'll get back to your show in a moment. Just a reminder, you're listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Find out more at themesh.tv and give us feedback on what you like. And now, as promised, back to your show.
Well, we always like to wind up our podcast by sharing a small business of the month that we've come across in our travels or had the opportunity to experience. And Tricia, do you have a small business that you'd like to share with us?
I do. I would love to share the small business of a yoga studio called Everyone Yoga. And the reason why they're called Everyone Yoga is because their yoga is for everyone. It's for young people. My 11-year-old takes there. It's for older people. It's
She
for
keeps
athletes.
looking to me when she says older people.
Oh,
She does, Gary.
I know.
no.
I get it.
And I love their mission statement. They do have one. It's about giving back to community. They do a lot of community support. They're in the community. They offer free programs to different ministries in the Hickory area. They're just really about community, and I love their studio, and I love their mission and what they support in community.
And you teach there as well. So,
I do.
So if people are interested in the Journey series and finding out more about the Journey board, I suspect they could find you there.
Yes, yes.
Very good, Jeff.
So very good. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Gary, what is your small business this month?
Well, mine's going to be a real twist away from my animal and food subjects that I always come up with. Although I will say, I want to give a shout out to my small business of the month I did in March. Hen and Egg in Newton. Mm-hmm. Southern food. Have you ever? Well, you probably wouldn't because it's not great food. It's my kind of food.
Greasy food.
But I took the executive director of Skills USA and his assistant there when they were here to visit us about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was spectacular.
Well,
So
good.
it is exactly what they advertised.
Well, excellent.
So that was good. Okay, so now the small business of the month. You listen closely because I want you to know why I did this.
I'm
or think
listening.
about it.
I'm listening.
Okay. Plum Pretty. Have we heard of Plum Pretty?
Not yet.
Upscale women's consignment boutique with irresistible prices. They have everything from professional work attire to casual jeans and classy cocktail dresses and much more. They have a wide selection of jewelry, shoes, and accessories. And of course, with the economy and everybody looking at going green, Plum Pretty is just a plumb smart idea. Whether you're looking for a new wardrobe at reasonable prices or looking to make a little extra cash from your clothes, it's making recycling chic. So why did I pick that one?
Tell us. I'm hoping that have you spent time there? I don't know.
No,
Is that where you're doing your shopping for your wife? I don't know.
That could work in the future. I'll have to try it out. Well, our Skills USA state champions at the college division at CVCC are doing the attic, which is something very similar to this.
This is
And
true.
so when I was new business coming out in Hickory, I said, my gosh, this is very similar to what our young ladies are working
And where is Plum Pretty located?
in downtown Hickory.
Beautiful downtown Hickory, North Carolina. Yeah. Okay. So, and Gary's a modest man. What he's not saying is that our college had both the college state champion of North Carolina entrepreneurship team at a Skills USA competition, and also the top high school team. So
we're very proud of them.
So Gary's
They're continuing a good tradition for our entrepreneurship teams.
So my business, a small business of the month, actually was something sent in by one of our listeners. So I received this email from one of our listeners. I enjoy your podcast, particularly the witty repartee between Jeff and Gary. I was in my Whole Foods in New York and found Roots hummus, and I noticed that it comes from Asheville, North Carolina, which I believe is near where you hillbillies live. Please consider it for your business of the month. And this is from Peter in New York City. So I went online and checked out Roots hummus, which might be more in line with what Tricia's diet is because she's actually in shape, and found out in 2006 a fellow named Matt Paris created a little carry-out cafe in Asheville, North Carolina, which sourced local meats and vegetables and organic grains and dairies, which for those of us that live in this area know that sounds like Asheville. And the name of the cafe was Roots. And as the customer base began to grow, Matt got more and more requests for his hummus, and people encouraged him to sell it by the pound. And he realized that what he was doing in his 200-square-foot kitchen was not going to be sufficient, but he wanted to maintain a connection between his community and the food he was making. So today they've actually expanded to a facility in Asheville's River Arts District, and they produce, package, ship all of their product, Roots hummus, out of there, and they provide certified living wages for their people. They've become known as the microbrew of hummus because of the various flavors they do and the attention to detail and their commitment to community. They have flavors such as roasted garlic, roasted red bell pepper, hot chipotle, Thai coconut curry, mango sriracha, and more. And they're now being distributed through Whole Foods, Harris Teeter, Food Line, and several other significant grocery stores. So sort of a local success story that we found out through Peter in New York. And you can find out about Roots Hummus at www.rootshummus.com. Gary, do you know how to spell hummus?
I was going to say you better spell it for our
It's Roots, R-O-O-T-S, HUMMUS, two U's, two M's.com, rootshummus.com.
I had the roots part.
You had the roots part? So I might have had to take, it gave me a couple chances on the hummus part. So I'll eat hummus. I don't go look for it. My wife is a big fan of hummus, and I will actually make a point of looking for Roots hummus locally, and we'll give that a try. So,
well, you know, with my favorite foods, you test it out for me, and then let me know if it's okay.
I'll let you know.
That's probably not something I'm going to follow up right now.
I'll let you know. All right, but if you have a suggestion for the Entrepreneur Exchange Small Business of the Month, you can send it to us at exchange@themesh.tv. And Peter in New York will be getting one of our prize packs. Yeah, we'll have to see what's left in the garage, just to see.
We're giving a lot of those away.
Well, not as many as we would like, but Peter will be getting one. And if you've got an idea, send it in to us. And if we use your small business, you'll get an Entrepreneur Exchange prize pack. I want to thank Tricia Cooper for joining us today. Tricia, we wish you the best of luck on the journey board and look forward to getting an update on Shark Tank.
Thank you.
And we want to thank The Mesh, and you can download us at themesh.tv, or you can subscribe at the iTunes store. We appreciate you listening, and we'll look forward to talking with you again next month.
It's a great show.
All right.
Take care. See you all next month. Well, you'll listen to us next month.
We hope. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.